g'day guys, and welcome back to my channel. Now, I've finally got back onto it. The Breville M96, or some say M97, but yeah, it's stamped M96. So, yes, as far as we've done with the chassis is we've got it all prettied up. Now, this is the insides of that, okay? Now, I don't know whether I've showed you guys, done all the caps. Okay, all the yellow ones you'll see there have all been replaced. There's a little electro down here. There's a resistor here, there's an electro there that I've changed, resistor there, a resistor here, here, and down this end. As you probably saw in the other video, well, my last video, I've replaced the EK2 valve, the first RF mixer. I've replaced his socket. A resistor in there, caps here, and this is what we've got. I've got to put this in here. Now, first things, before I put this in, is I've got to find myself a replacement tone control, and exactly what it is. This was a wire wound one. You've probably seen it on the previous videos. Not real certain of the value of this. I mean, it does have 15M written on it. I don't think that's a 15 meg resistor. It's a wire wound thing. So we've got to chase that up. We've got to also, while this is out, have a look at the volume pot, make sure that it's working as it should. I mean, it's a lot easier to do it here out of there than, waiting till we put it back in. A couple of mica caps just to check here, but I mean, we can check them when we put it back together. The band switch, I've cleaned it up pretty well. It's not too bad. I'll run some deoxide or something like that, and clean the contacts, clean it up just in around the coil area, the contacts, certainly before we put the thing back in here. Now, the other thing, the IF transformers, we'll get onto that when we get this in. There's quite a few of these leads that have got to go up through the chassis to where the IF transformers were. I'll do that. We've got to put in our resistor network here in the bottom of this, which you've seen on another. It's a supply resistor network, but we'll get to that when we get it in here. Okay, so let's find out a little bit more about the tone control, and then we'll attack the volume control. Right, now, here's the circuit I've been running off. Give me a pointer here. And I've just got marked in red the caps and what I've been checking, what I've changed, so forth. Now, the tone control runs off the plate of the 42 and through an 047 now down to there. Now, 1500, is that an ohm or is that a zero? A little bit hard to tell. So I thought, well, 42 is a 42. This is an M96. The M97 circuit, let's have a look at it. More or less the same through an 05 or an 047. And there it is, clearly marked 15000. So it's a 15K pot. And back in the day, they used a wire wound. Now, this is only tone. It's not handling any major current or anything like that. And of course, it's this is the M97, and it's on the plate of the 42, exactly the same as the other circuit. This is just a slight variation, a few voltages down here, which is really good, actually. So I've rounded this up, um, yeah, and some, well, lead colours and so forth, which I haven't got all these, but I don't know what we're doing with the leads yet. And of course, this 15k resistor down the bottom here, yeah, the supply resistor tapped at different tappings for different voltages to various parts of the circuit. Okay, we'll get to him later. Okay, so this fella over here, 15k. So this little fella, I get him apart. Righto. There was the inside of him. As you can see, he's a mess. There's little wire everywhere. And he's a 15k. The circuit says so. On this, clearly marked 15M. So obviously, it obviously doesn't mean meg. That's the only markings I can see on it. So it was a 15k. And yeah, that's what we'll be replacing. Shaft, well, yeah, got to find something with a fairly long shaft or an extension shaft of some description. Now, I did cover all this in videos early on. So if you want to, yeah, check out what this thing was when I pulled it apart and how it was and everything, well, yeah, go back to the, it's in the radio restoration playlist and have a look at where we started with this old Breville. Few screws in here, nothing whatsoever written on the back. Nothing on the sides. So yeah, a 15k pot we're going to have to find. Let's go and see what I can find, and hopefully get something with a shaft the same length. I hope I've got some sort of pot that will do the job. Okay, look what I found in the old stash out the back. I've found a 10k 2-watt pot. There we go. Now that is more or less exactly what we're after. We'll check him now. And shaft size, exactly the same as the original. So we can get rid of this old girl, and this will do us nicely. So let's put a meter on this and check him out. I'll grab a meter. Okay, let's see. 10k, it says. I wonder, is it? Okay. Put him on there. What's he read? 10.22. That's pretty close to me. Okay. The wiper. Okay. We'll go back. 9.97. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1k. Right down to 35 ohm. And right up the other end, 9.76. And it all seems to work quite nicely. No doubt we'll put a little bit of contact cleaner in there just to make sure he's good. But yeah, there's our replacement for our tone control. So that's got that sorted. I'll give him a little bit of a clean up inside. and then we'll look at where he wires in. I may not put this in until we get the rest of the wiring into the chassis, but yeah, we'll have a look. So just looking at things, our tone control, well, the wiper goes to ground and the other side goes to a 0.05 up to, well, 0.047 to our 42. Now, looking down here, this is our 0.047. He goes to the plate of the 42, which is that socket there. And it's just got nothing on it. So I've obviously taken that off. It's that long since I pulled this apart. I can sort of can't remember everything I did. So a little bit of checking back with videos and pictures on this one. But anyway, he connects onto there. So I'm not going to bother putting the tone control in until all this is in and in place. I mean, we've only got to put one wire to the tone control and the wiper to ground. So that's neither here nor there. So, well, yeah, just clean this up and put him aside. So next we'll get on to our volume control. Now, I will probably unsolder this one. I'll give you guys a bit better look here. If you can, can't get you much closer there. You can see what's going on. We'll tidy this up. This shielded cable, it's still good cable. There's nothing wrong with it, so we're going to leave that as is. We'll drop these two off that lug, our two here, and yeah, we'll probably do a little bit better job than what's been done here. So we'll take this off and take him apart and clean him up and have a bit of a look at him. The shaft is short, but I think on this one there was an extendable shaft, I'm pretty sure, went on this. So yeah, he's doesn't feel too bad, although a little bit crunchy, but I want to make sure of this before it all goes back in. Righto. Right, guys, what I've noticed, we've got the pot here, and yeah, it's a nice little pot. But this is actually a switch pot, okay? And the two terminals, well, there's a place for a terminal there and there, but these ones have either been broken off or taken off somehow. I wonder, can we resurrect this so that we can break our active line and return this to a switch pot? This could be quite interesting because there's no other switch pot on this radio. There's no on-off switch at all. So, yeah, maybe we'll get this apart. Maybe we can resurrect this and we can resolder some terminals or something onto here and get this back into a switch pod. I also think that this has been pulled apart because these little tags around the sides, the three there that hold the front on, are only just pushed in. As you can see, they're yeah. I think this thing's been apart before. So anyway, let's get him apart, and we might be able to resurrect the switch, depending on what's inside, of course. And we might just use it as the volume pot. But let's have a look. Let's have a look at what's inside here. Okay, get this fella out a little bit. Right. Now, comes off. Yes, he's definitely a switch pot. I don't know. It's a carbon. Before we look at the switch, this is a carbon track around the outside for the volume. A little stopper over there so he can't go too far. Yeah, certainly don't make pots like this now, do they? Anyway, we can test all this out. Make sure our carbon's clean, it's not dirty, clean the terminals up, clean the whole thing up, and yeah, that will be a good thing. Now, this little fella here for the switch pot, I don't think this is going to work. Yeah, something's been broken off here. It actually looks like it's been cut off. Yeah, okay. What value is this? Doesn't say on here anywhere. We've got 547 written in here. Yeah, that's this is a strange setup, but that also looks like it's been cut. Okay. I don't think just looking at that, yeah, if it's been cut there for some reason, and this can't be repaired, and this our little lever that comes around and hits our little rocker arm on the switch has been cut. So yeah, okay. Well, it was a good thought, but yeah, that's not going to happen. Bit of a shame because we could have possibly used the switch. I will also think about should we replace this with a switch pot? But this is, well, is it the original? I think it is. And the way it was soldered on and everything else looks fairly original. Okay, let's go with the original. We'll work out another way of switching this radio on and off. Um, yeah, we'll think of something. Okay, let's clean this up. All right. So there's our carbon track. We'll check him now. We'll clean the contacts, providing he's okay. And there's our little wiper arm. He's fairly dirty on the end, so it was good to get this out. Now, this fella, I'm going to clean the carbon. Now, I'm not going to use any cleaner on this, just a dry cotton bud on here because I don't really want anything that could lift the carbon on this little fella. He's fairly delicate. As you can see, the carbon's coming off anyway, but yeah, just in case the contact cleaner wants to lift the carbon, he's a delicate little piece of gear. Okay, so we'll just clean these the same way as the others, just the contacts themselves. Clean up around in there. Okay, It looks pretty good. Now, this is our volume control through the cap up to, should go to the grid of the 6B7. Yep. So that is our volume control coming from our detector, our diode detector there, out of the transformer to one end. Now, is that, hang on, that resistor is 50K, which I think I've replaced as a 47K. What is this? Okay, let's go to the other schematic. See what we can find here. Okay, I think we've got the same thing. That says 500K. Is that correct? Out of our detector. There we go. That's our volume control. Through the 0.1. Back to the grid. Out of this fella. Straight into the 42. Okay. This one over here is definitely tone because he connects onto the plate, which will cut your high frequencies going, well, variable to your output transformer there. So, gee, 500K. 500K. What were we measuring? Have I had a brain fart or what's happening here? Hang on. Yes, Baz. Look at this. There's an M after it. Ah, and you guys didn't even see that. There's an M. Oh, yeah. There we go. Okay. Let's try this again. We're on 7 meg there. A little bit high. So is it? We did have 6 there a while back. 7 meg. And our original paper back over here does say, well, that resistor's 50K. Yeah, there's nothing on that. Let's put the wiper back in and then we'll do some checks when he's back together. Okay, there we go. 1.7 meg. 5, 4, 3. Okay. So we'll start off a little bit dodgy there. 615 ohm. That goes to 33K, and all of a sudden we're at 600K. Okay, 1.4, 5, 8, 9, 10, and 10 meg. 10 meg. 25 meg. 1 meg. So we go from there to there. So we're looking at 2 meg there. You go a little bit further, and we've got 10 meg. This is no good, guys. This is no good. 10 meg, 9, 10 meg. This is not going to work. She's not going to work. Okay, let's go to the other side. Okay. We've got 600 ohm, 700k, 8k, jumping around a bit. We go up there and we're at 8 meg in the same spot. We've got a problem right there. We go back to 10 meg there, and it's 7 meg there. We've got a problem here. Now, the thing is, what is the value of this? Is it 500k? Is it that fella there, which reads, you got your resistor there, 50k, and that definitely says 500k, 500,000. Okay, put him on his side. That to me is a 5. We might see if we can round up another circuit that I've got here in my little folder. We've got another one here, and if we look here, we don't have a value on there, only on the resistor. Okay, so we'll go to the next fella, and once again, it's 500 or 600. I think it's a 500k. We have this one, Breville, 5758. And what have we got on here? We've got a volume control, which says volume 0.5. Now, for me, this one's marked 1 meg. This says 0.5. 0.5. Now, I reckon 0.5 up here is 500k. What other resistors have we got here? 0.5, 500k in our AGC line. Okay, 500k. I'm going to go with 500k. I'm sure that will work fine. So now we've got to find another pot to replace this one. It's definitely not a 10 meg pot. Righto, let's go and find one of those at that length shaft if we can, or we cut him to that length. Well, we found this one. He's measuring 600k, but it measures a solid 600, so it's close enough to 500 for me. So look at on the back of him. He's got a switch pot. He's got a switch on the back of the pot. So how about we use him and we can switch our mains, both live and neutral. I think this will be ideal. So yeah, it's a shame we can't keep the originals. I really like to rebuild originals if I can, but anyway, in this case we can't. It's impossible. So let's clean all this up, get all the cables off him, give him a wash out, clean him up, and there's our volume control. And then soldering back in here. Okay, he's all cleaned up, ready to go. We'll leave our switch for the mains and everything until we get everything back in there. Nothing we can do beforehand. So let's put him back in, solder him back in, and yeah, we'll go from there. Put some nice new solder on here. And resolder our shielded cables. Now, not very often I put the cables through a hole. Makes it very difficult to work with at a later date in case we've got to change this, in case it fails. Very, very difficult to work with if you've got them through hole. Right, and these two work together. We might have to slip one a little bit through a hole here to just hold him. Hold him in place. Right. So it's our ground for our shielded cable. And the ground wire goes on to something else from here. I think it's the tone pot. I'm not real sure. But anyway, this wire is, yeah, we'll have to have a look at our pictures. It does go back onto something else. All right, so we'll just bend him out of the road there. We'll also take off our nut of this nut and star washer. Don't need them on when we're putting him in. There is a nut on the inside of this to actually take that back a bit. So I'll leave him on there. Okay, so volume control now and on off, done. Right, next thing, this here. Let's see what we can do with this. We've got to get a few wires sort of out of the road, but keep them in roughly the same position they were in when we took it out. Make it a little bit easier. Right, okay, there we go. We'll spray this fella. I will get a knob on this fella. It's a screw knob. I'll go and find one, put on it so we can turn it easily and work on this a lot easier than what it is. I've put a big enough knob on here so we can turn him like this quite easily. I'll also spray a little bit on the couple of little wheels that actually go around to the indents on the front plate, and that's running nice and smooth. All right, and then we'll spray in here in the back. Feeling very positive, quite nice. So we do have two short wave bands and medium wave on this one. And I'm quite sure that this will clean everything up here. Just give him a little spray up the front to flush out any dirt that we've got here. When all this dries out, we'll smear a little bit of grease on these little rollers, and yeah, just so they run freely. But that's running quite nice now. It's very easy, looks clean. So yeah, we'll mop up our mess. Certainly looking better than what it was when we took all this apart. So for all you guys out there that are looking at fixing up a Breville, this little exercise may help you. It might get you in more trouble. I haven't finished mine either yet, so all the trouble may be to come yet. Lovely. Okay. I'm happy with that. Right, that's that done. Now, this fella is the soldering work is not real crash hot in there, but it is holding. This one here is a little bit dirty. We'll just give him a clean up. It's one of the trimmers. Now, I don't know what the trimmers are for at the moment. It will be oscillator and possibly antenna. Well, probably antenna trimmer for the coils. Those being shortwave, and the medium wave is over here, this fella. All right. So I've got lots of loose wires here. There's going to be a bit of work putting this together. Okay, that's running pretty good. Righto, guys. Now, the next thing to check will be a little capacitor in here. I'm just checking his wiring. No, he looks okay. He looked a bit sus. We don't need any silver mica disease in these fellas, especially this one. Now, he has been tarnished on the outsides. I'm a little bit inclined to unscrew him and make sure there's no sign of mica disease or anything inside him. So, yeah, we might do that now. And after that, well, I'm pretty sure the trimmers will be okay. They're accessible anyway. So I think this is about the last before the next segment of putting the holeless bolus in the chassis. So we might cut this video short once we check this as, the return of the chassis. And the next one, we're ready to put it in. Okay. You get what I mean. I don't want you guys to be bored stiff with an hour movie. We've had too many of those. Okay, just taking him off. Now, can we lift this fella up? Not really. Can we get a look in there? Actually, just looking at that, from where I am, it looks perfect, actually. Strangely enough, I'm going to leave him. He looks spot on. Righto, guys. I'm going to leave you just looking at this shocking mess. this this Breville. I don't know whether we've made this better or worse to put back in the chassis. So all this here has to be put back in here. Now in here we've got some standoffs and stuff to put in there first to be able to mount our ladder on. He's yeah, there'll have to be some pictures here before I put it in. All this should go back in reasonably well. It's the wires that are disconnected have been deliberately disconnected. There's sort of nothing broken off. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of a challenge, a bit of a laugh for you guys, I'm sure, because this is not going to be really straightforward. But I hope all this works in the end. I hope all this is yeah, what we all want, the result of this radio working perfectly. Righto, guys. Please remember to subscribe and give us a thumbs up if you like what I do. If you want to follow me on this, and if you want to see the next part, hit the bell. Hit the bell icon on the subscribe, and you'll be notified when I put my next video up of this one and lots of others. There's another little project as well as this one happening at the moment. So yeah, the next part of this one won't be very far away. Okay, guys, we'll catch you later. Bye for now.